He says nothing because he has been dead for 9 months. The judge is the Pope. The corpse is also a pope. This is the Cadaver Synod, the day the Catholic Church put a dead body on trial. And somehow, the body won. Welcome to 9th century Rome, where being pope was statistically one of the most dangerous jobs in all of Europe. The empire of Charlemagne had collapsed, and Italy's noble families now treated the papacy like a prize to be captured, repeatedly. Popes came and went so fast that Rome would burn through 9 of them in a single decade. Job security? 0. Meet Pope Formosus, experienced diplomat, respected bishop, and a man with one fatal talent, making powerful enemies without even trying. Formosus crowned the Duke of Spoleto's son as emperor under pressure. Then he secretly invited a German king to invade and crowned him instead. The German king promptly suffered a stroke and went home, which left Formosus with an emperor next door and a very angry Spoleto family. Then, in April 896, Formosus did the smartest thing a man with these enemies could do. He died peacefully in his bed. You would think death puts a man beyond revenge. The Spoleto family would like a word. So would the new pope, Stephen VI. Stephen hated Formosus with the fury of 1,000 suns, and he was backed by the same family Formosus had betrayed. So in January 897, Stephen gave an order no pope had given before. Dig him up. We are taking him to court. The 9-month-old corpse was exhumed, dressed in full papal vestments, and propped up on the actual throne in a real courtroom. A young deacon was assigned to stand behind the corpse and answer the charges on its behalf. Imagine his performance review. The charges: perjury, seizing the papacy illegally, and running more than one diocese at a time. All crimes worth exhuming a man for, apparently. Stephen personally screamed the accusations at the body. The defense strategy of the accused? Absolute, unbreakable silence. Honestly? Solid lawyering. Then, in the middle of the trial, an earthquake hit Rome and cracked the basilica. A subtle sign, one might say. Stephen continued anyway. The verdict shocked absolutely no one. Guilty on all counts. The punishment, however, went further than anyone expected. Formosus' papacy was erased from the records, his ordinations annulled, and the 3 blessing fingers of his right hand were cut off. Then the body was stripped of its vestments, dressed in peasant clothes, and thrown into the river Tiber. Case closed. Or so Stephen thought. The corpse washed up downstream, where a monk retrieved it. Then the rumors began. The dead pope was performing miracles. Rome, already disgusted by the corpse trial, now had a miracle-working victim. Public opinion turned on Stephen with remarkable speed. By summer, a mob deposed Stephen and threw him in prison, where he was strangled. The corpse had won its appeal. In December, the new Pope Theodore II annulled the entire trial and reburied Formosus in St. Peter's, with full honors. The next pope, John IX, went further. He burned the trial records and made it officially illegal to put a corpse on trial. Think about that. The church had to write an actual law saying you cannot prosecute dead bodies because of one guy. 7 years later, Pope Sergius III, a judge at the original trial, reinstated the guilty verdict. The sequel nobody asked for. In the end, Formosus rests in St. Peter's, Stephen is remembered as history's worst prosecutor, and the Tiber remains a terrible place for evidence. The Cadaver Synod remains the only trial in history where the defendant was dead, silent, and still won. Subscribe, or we appeal the verdict.